Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is a fantastic occasion right now. The Socceroos have won a group stage match for the first time in 12 years, but it's not as big as Samuel and I being back together in a video for the first time in 3 months. Welcome back, Samuel. Welcome back, the whole crowd. They've been waiting for you, mate. This is the real reason our views haven't been hitting 1K again. It's because they've been waiting for you to come back, and now this video is going to go off because you're back. How are you, Samuel?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been slacking, doing exams and assessments and, looking after a kid. So it's been fun, but I've been watching the football. Don't worry. I've been to all of Sydney's home games. So it's been a good time. So I've been around, but it's good to be back. And I mean, we are massive.
Yeah.
The Socceroos, by that, the Socceroos. Absolutely massive. We're going to win the World Cup, right?
Yep, I'm for you. And Dominic Perrottet, if you're listening, there's been a big plea for you to open up the Opera House or whatever in front of the Opera House so we can have a big screening Thursday morning at 2 a.m. So Dominic, please, if you don't do it, we won't vote you in.
I mean, how good were those scenes at Fed Square? Like, that fantastic. Is unreal. That's gone worldwide.
Yeah,
that's absolute quality. Incredible. And then if Albo can give us a public holiday on a Thursday, that way we can wake up at 2, watch the game, and then not have to go to work next day. Like, brilliant, right?
You're on holidays, mate, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah. That's fine.
What an occasion. So if you've been living under a rock, yesterday, the Socceroos won a World Cup match against Tunisia. Mitch Duke with an absolutely fantastic header in about, I think, the 23rd minute, and that was it.
Yep.
We held out Tunisia for the rest of the match, and I think Tunisia probably lucky not to get a goal or two, but still, it doesn't matter. We've won a game, and geez, those scenes at full time, my shirt was off and it was thrown down the hallway, and the pants stayed on, but regardless of how bad or how good or whatever you want to say we played against France, it felt so good to win a game of the World Cup.
The performance was unreal. I've seen some things, the rest of the world, mostly English people, going, "Oh, that was a boring game. Who needed to watch that?" I don't know whether it's my bias, but I was enthralled the entire 90 minutes. Like, Australia picked up the intensity so much from our game against France. And like, every moment for both teams felt big. I genuinely thought Tunisia could have scored anytime they countered us. And same with the Socceroos, actually. We had some really good opportunities, and just every tackle was 100%. It was a thrilling match, like, on my side of things. I don't think it was a boring 1-0 at all.
No. And
England fans can't really talk because they had a boring 0 draw with USA. So, it just, the performance, I think the stark difference between the game against France, where we played okay for 15 minutes and then just terribly, it was just a stark difference to this game against Tunisia, where everyone looked up for it. I've never seen Aaron Moy run that much in a game. Like, he was running to make tackles, running to make intercepts. Yeah, he was fantastic, a real metronome, and that was an indication of the pace the rest of the team played at. I think everyone kind of was a bit shocked that Arnie kept the same 11, essentially, except for Fran Karacic coming in, and
that was.
But to be honest, I think he got it right. I think the team that played was the right team. Mitch Duke, fantastic up front for that 65 minutes. Actually, I think Karacic was probably one of our poorest on the pitch in that first half. Giving the ball away a few sloppy times. He was getting forward, which was nice to see, but you really can't fault many of the players for the effort they put in.
And even though you reckon Fran Karacic probably didn't have a great game the first half, I still think, he actually, on the overall, looking at the game, he still played quite well. I don't think anyone put in a crap performance in that game. Harry Souttar, for me, though, what a man mountain in the back. And you think this guy, I think his third full first team game back since doing his ACL against Saudi Arabia in the qualifiers. Man, he didn't look like he had 12 months out. That tackle with 5 to go, that was absolutely superb. He stuffed that up, he's gone, he's sent off. But it was just, he had that all day. I was really impressed with him.
Yeah, I mean, Kai Rolls, to his credit, I think both of our centre-backs looked out of their depth in the first game against France, and Drew getting in between the two of them for winning a header. But this game against Tunisia, solid at the back. Kai Rolls, except for his one little almost backflip towards the end there, I think he was fantastic. Harry Suter, like we've talked about, his distribution was really good, his tackling great, and he got that big head on everything. Forget slabhead Maguire, like Harry Suter, that's the slabhead we need. I think the defense, really looks solid. It doesn't mean that other teams won't get opportunities, and we saw Tunisia kind of get opportunities, but they really didn't have much clear-cut opportunities. And when they did, Matt Ryan actually stood up and did his job really well.
Yeah, no, it was such a great game. Like I'm still high from that match. It's just like, I could have stayed up all night last night, but I didn't. But still, it was just. I remember the 2010 World Cup. We lost to Germany 4-0, and we drew with Ghana, and I was just so frustrated with that Ghana game. I didn't want to watch the game against Serbia. So that's actually, for me, the first time I've actually sat up and watched Australia win a World Cup match, and it felt good, man. I guess we haven't done a video for quite some time, so we haven't actually talked about the first game against France. I mean, you talked a bit there about how we played okay for the first 15 and pretty poor for the rest of it. How much is actually on Graham Arnold's tactics, do you reckon, in that first game, and how much is on it's actually France? It's got Kylian Mbappe, it's got Olivier Giroud, these seasoned Champions League, Premier League players playing at some of the biggest clubs in the world. When do you think, we actually did our best, but
well, that's right. We're looking at other teams. So Costa Rica, who shipped 7 against Spain, they
shouldn't even be there. Should have been New Zealand. But anyway.
Well, that's, if we're looking at teams who are around our level, who aren't expected to actually get anything when they're playing up against those big teams, actually the Asian nations have done really well. But France are a fantastic team. Like, saw the way they went about their business, and I mean, Atkinson at right back up against Kylian Mbappe, one of the best players in the world. And when he's on his day, he's incredible. And they exploited a weak area. Atkinson does like to attack. They kind of talked about not doing their homework, but obviously they had identified that as a weak spot in Australia's defence. And so I think maybe part of it is Arnold's tactics, that for the first 15 minutes, we did actually look aggressive, and the goal came out of that, a quick turnaround and moving forward. And actually, all of our best play against Tunisia was that kind of forward-facing action when Moy and Irvine turned forward, when Harry Suter got his head up and played the ball. That's when we look at our best, when we're actually attacking, going at the opposition. And after we got our goal against France, that shut off. And, maybe that was a tactical decision. If we get something against France, don't push. But at the end of the day, their quality was too good. And I think you saw some of that rustiness. I mean, both of our centre-backs, Harry Suter and Kai Rolls, both coming back from injury. So Harry Suter played 1 game before the World Cup in 12 months. Kai Rolls had been out for 3 months or so. So we've got 2 centre-backs up against a world-class strikers. It is, I think we maybe were too harsh on that first game on Australia. And seeing the result against Tunisia, I think I was pessimistic for probably one of the first times watching a Socceroos game, really pessimistic about our chances. But I think Australia showed the qualities that we can have. And so, having watched Tunisia against Denmark, I actually think there's again, I don't want to get too optimistic, but if we attack, we could actually look good. So France are incredible, and they're going to continue. I think they're going to put Tunisia to the sword as well. I don't think they're going to let their performance slip because they're already through. I think even resting some players, they still want to show the rest of the World Cup that they mean business, and there's no World Cup winners curse for them.
And the depth in their squad, whether you still feel a few reserves in that match, they're still going to be pretty good, whoever they play. But yeah, looking ahead, Denmark. I thought Denmark would have been like one of the real dark horses of this tournament, considering how well they've been in form, how well they went at the Euros, and on paper, it's a really good squad. But from the two games they've played, they drew 0-0 with Tunisia, and a game that from the mini match I saw, Tunisia probably lucky they probably didn't get a win in that, and then they almost held France to a draw. It's a bit. I don't really know what to make of Denmark so far at this World Cup. We know how good on paper they are, but for me, like you said, I don't want to get too optimistic, but I feel from the way Denmark played against Tunisia, I'm feeling like there's a good chance we might be able to get a win. What we do need is a win to guarantee we'll go through. A draw will get us through if France doesn't lose to Tunisia, which seems very likely. For me, I think probably why I was so frustrated about the France game was I was actually a bit optimistic, just because there was a lot of injuries in that French squad. There was rumours of disharmony within the squad, but I was let down pretty badly to the 4-1 loss. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself against Denmark, but I'm feeling, there's a real good bit of momentum. The players would have seen how we celebrated back in Melbourne, just the way the world reacted to us winning. I feel like we should go into Denmark feeling really, there's a good buzz around us, a bit of confidence. Samuel, how are you feeling going into that match against Denmark?
Yeah, look, I'm similar. I don't want to be too optimistic. I don't think still, just because we've beaten Tunisia, that we've had this drastic change in our overall ability as a squad. Like, I think when you look at it, the paper doesn't lie in a sense. We're coming up against players like Christian Eriksen, Kasper Schmeichel. We're coming up against very quality players. And, our best player, Aiden Hrustic, still doesn't look like he's close to playing a full match, So I think what we have learned is when you sit back at a World Cup, you get punished. You get punished really hard. I think that was the best thing about the Tunisia match was there were times of defence, but it was structured defence, and it was defence right throughout the squad. So the attackers were defending. Mitch Duke and McLaren, when he came on, to his credit, they were chasing down. They weren't allowing Tunisia to play out. And then actually our ball play in spurts was quite good. And we're going to need that quality on the ball. Jackson Irvine played really well. And I actually really like the way Riley McGree was pushing up almost like a second striker, which just gave us a little bit of, they gave us some angles to play with in the midfield. I think they're the lessons that Australia have learned. We can't just sit back. We can't just expect to grind out a 0-0. Actually, the best way we can attack, the best way we can defend is to attack, to play on the front foot, to use our physicality, to use our speed, and to put the ball in their end of the pitch so that they can't attack us, and then be structured when they do come. So, look, can we get a draw against Denmark? Absolutely. We did 4 years ago. We can do that. I think one of the best things about this World Cup so far is we've scored 2 goals, but they've both been from open play. Did we score a goal from open play last World Cup, or was it just penalties?
2 penalties. The Tim Cahill volley was the last time before this World Cup, the last time we ever scored a goal from open play.
Yeah, so I think we've seen that progression. That's been really good. Craig Goodwin, what a babe! Like
and what a story! He went from like working part-time at KFC to playing at the World Cup.
Yeah, his involvement in this World Cup squad has not just been tokenistic. Like, he's deserved it from his performances in the A-League. He's been probably one of the best 2-3 players in the A-League for the last 2 seasons. And his performances in this World Cup have shown that he's a serious talent. And so using Lecky to his strengths, Duke and McLaren, I think we can get a good result against Denmark, and hopefully France do put Tunisia to the sword, and we can. Well, I would love to see us win. I'd love to see us win again, not just go for the draw, but actually take 3 points and and show the world that, you know, we mean business. And then
Hmm.
who would that put us up against into the next round? Would be
It'll be the group. If we finish second, it'll be the winner of Group B. So it could be the Saudis, could be Poland, could be Argentina.
could be anyone in that group except for Mexico.
Yeah, I
at this
don't think they
stage.
can win the group. No.
Yeah. So, you know,
I think the mind game. Oh, sorry.
Well, there's a chance that we saw Saudi, you know, beat Argentina. So if we face Argentina, just like the Olympics, we can take them down.
I think the mentality will be really important. And we've done it so far in our first 2 games. We've gotten an early goal because Denmark need to win to progress.
Yeah.
If we get an early goal, mindset sets in for Denmark, thinking we need to get a goal now. They're going to push more forward, more of an opportunity to get us on the to get them on the counter. So, early goal, which we've done in our past 2 games, we scored against France. There's no reason why we can't score against Denmark. So I think Arnie should be saying we need to get a goal early, because once we go 1-0 up and they need the win to progress, they'll be doing silly things. They'll be pushing more high than they probably normally will. But yeah, for sure, I think we can beat Denmark. There's no reason why we can't.
And I think one of the real advantages we have at this World Cup is that we've played in Qatar before. We've played in this heat. Like season in, season out, Australia knows how to deal with these temperatures, knows how to deal with these stadiums. I think that's a serious advantage that we have over the European teams who, particularly for those early kickoffs, are really struggling that early kickoff. So if we can use that, our kind of fitness in the heat, we'll go a long way.
Now, we don't have much time left on our Zoom. We've got about 4 minutes. So I think what we'll do is we'll finish off with score prediction, Samuel. What are you thinking?
I think we're going to have a 1-1 draw with Denmark.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to take a 2-1 win. Got to be confident somewhere. I'm going to back Riley McGree to get a goal and Jackson Irvine to get another.
Oh, excellent.
But I'd be more than happy with a draw as long as France plays their part.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in for this episode. Are we going to do a live watch along for the Thursday at 2 a.m.?
Ooh, gee, that could. No.
Well, I'll probably fall asleep on the cast. But no, I'll be up at 2 a.m. I assume you'll be up at 2 a.m., Samuel, especially with all your holidays. But thanks for watching us. It's been some time since we've been together, so it's good to get back together, Samuel. If you haven't liked the video already, please leave us a like. Really helps us out. So does subscribing, so does sharing, so does watching the whole video. So please do that. And until next time, I will see you in the next video.
See you later.